Hey there fellow YouTubers, this is Ethan Home Guitar Mods. In this week's Tone video, we're going to talk about this, the Mooer SkyVerb. Let's get started. Alright, so like I said, today we're going to talk about the Mooer SkyVerb digital reverb pedal. This is a neat little reverb pedal, and when I say little, I really mean little. Here's the pedal when compared to an MXR stomp box. As you can see, not very large, and when compared to a Boss stomp box. This thing is definitely not going to be eating up too much real estate on your pedal board. We have three reverb types: a studio, church, and plate. You have a tone knob, which affects the tone of the reverb signal, a mix knob, which adjusts the mix between dry and wet signal, a decay knob, which is nice and large, easy to get to, which adjusts the length of the reverb, as well as a nice clicky true bypass switch, so we know when we've got the effect on and off. This is, because it's so small, there's no 9-volt battery in here. You cannot fit one in here. There's no place for it, so you will need some kind of external power supply, but this does run 9 volts, standard polarity to any other guitar effect. It only draws 128 milliamps, so you should have plenty of power with the majority of power supplies out there to get this little guy rocking. A quick and dirty review on this pedal. It sounds pretty good for the money. It's a little cheap. It sounds very reminiscent of a late 90s, early 2000 multi-effects reverb. The reverb is very thin sounding, although all three settings are different and have different EQs and sound good to their respective reverbs. If you really crank the mix up, you can hear the downfall to this. There's also this like 100 hertz on down digital like 8-bit noise as the reverb decays. It's not smooth sounding like most reverbs are. So if you're playing some more ambient noises and stuff, you're really going to hear the shortfalls of this pedal. And as we listen to this, you'll hear that digital decay that I was talking about. Enough of me yakking. Let's plug this thing in and really see how this pedal sounds and let your ears be the judge. Alright, so after we've heard that, here's my thoughts on problems with the pedal. The first is that 8-bit grungy digital noise I was telling you about earlier. Now here's the pedal set on church. I've got the decay set pretty high so you can hear it. The tone's turned up. The mix is a little higher so that you can really hear the sound. I'm just going to slap the strings and you'll be able to hear this trailing digital garbage. I'll turn the amp up so you can hear that. Can you hear that flutter? The second issue I find with this reverb pedal is that every reverb on here uses the same delay style reverb. So if we listen to the studio, and I just pluck a chord real quick here, you can hear, and I've got the mix turned up so you hear it, you can hear that it's more of an echo. It's in a smooth reverb. And I guess you could argue that it sounds like the sound is bouncing off of things in the room. But it's in every effect. So here we're on the church setting, where it's way more prominent. And here's on the plate. Now on the plate side, I like the sound. Because to me it sounds like a spring or a plate, it's being pushed real hard. So I find that it works in this effect, but in others it doesn't. And again, if I turn the decay all the way up, we get that same digital garbage as the reverb trails out if you hear that. Well, that's my honest review of the Mooer SkyVerb digital reverb. Overall, it's a pretty decent reverb for the money, especially if you just need something cheap. If you can, get your hands on one, see how it sounds, plug it into your rig, and let your ears be the judge, ultimately, because that's what really matters, is your opinion and not so much mine. Well, thanks for watching. This is Anthony from Guitar Mods, and as always, keep rocking and keep modding.